So when I talk to people about my loneliness research, they often do a sort of, asking for a friend. How do people experience loneliness? In my research, I found it super interesting the imagery that people use to help explain what loneliness feels like. I don't often get a chance to talk about it because there's so much focus on how do we solve the loneliness epidemic that some of these details get lost. So I wanted to make sure to share these experiences with you to see, how much do you resonate with them or not. A standard way that health researchers describe the feeling of loneliness is through the UCLA Loneliness Scale. So in this survey, people describe if they feel alone, even if they are not objectively isolated from other people. It relays an overall sense of an individual's social value, how much they matter, and are a part of something larger than themselves. When adults are experiencing chronic loneliness, though, they have also described it as becoming trapped to the point that it shatters their own sense of self. There tends to be a great feeling of shame around it, and people commonly experience depression as well. So, I want to talk you through some additional interesting things we found in our recent loneliness research. Our findings came from analyzing 219 stories that were publicly shared by this online art project called the Loneliness Project. This is what those 219 stories look like. So people shared the first and last time they felt lonely, what they thought loneliness meant, and a time when they felt the most lonely. And this survey was created by the artist of this project. Our research team summarized loneliness experiences across these 219 publicly available stories. So I'll first explain how people describe the feeling of loneliness. Lonely adults often use very sensory imagery to explain that loneliness was a physical and visceral experience. People could even feel physically ill because they were lonely. Loneliness was described by darkness, silence, coldness, and physical distance. When adults experienced severe loneliness, they described it in one of two ways. They either felt entirely disconnected from the world around them, describing it as untethered or unmoored, like this image from the movie Gravity, or they described it as being completely trapped. These are examples of common phrases used to describe that adults use to describe how they had relationships with other people but still felt alone. I'm the only one I know going through this major life experience. There is no one I can turn to in moments of crisis. I just want someone to talk to who knows me and shares in my life experiences. Loneliness could be experienced with anybody at any place. So adults could feel lonely around partners, family, friends, coworkers, bosses, teachers, neighbors, an entire town, a whole grocery store, a religious community, or even the whole world. When adults felt severe loneliness, it was often accompanied by a large number of different emotions, all at the same time, that could even conflict with each other. So, someone could feel both love and loneliness at the same time, for example. This quote, bomb of emotions could leave adults feeling confused, lost, and overwhelmed. A second common question people ask about my loneliness research is understanding what are lonely adults doing about it. So I'll explain some common patterns that we found in the stories we analyzed. In response to loneliness, adults described efforts to take care of themselves. Examples included hiding or pretending who they really were around other people to fit into social groups or meet social expectations, connecting with fictional characters in movies and books, finding places of refuge where they felt connected to a larger world, like a favorite place in nature, using substances like alcohol to cope, and seeking out professional help. So I am describing a range of coping mechanisms that in my industry of public health could be considered helpful or destructive ways of coping. My research is not about making that determination. I just want to be clear about all the different ways that adults are coping. Intuitively, a lot of folks ask about the idea of solitude, and this is really important. In our study, we found adults could be grateful for the loneliness that they had experienced because it helped them figure out how to have a better relationship with themselves. Adults seem to believe this is an important step in life to learn how to be alone with yourself in solitude. In solitude, people were spending time alone but didn't feel lonely. Also, adults talked about how loneliness helped them treat relationships as special and valuable. Adults found that after being lonely, they cared more about their relationships with other people. Some experienced personal growth and recognized how loneliness encouraged them to change relationships that were harmful or unfulfilling, even if they were the ones who were contributing to a harmful or unfulfilling relationship. So thank you for listening. You can learn more about the loneliness research that I do on my YouTube channel. Have a great day.